And if we ask the stars what they mean, what would they say back to us? Welcome. You want to go on a card journey today? Give me some of your time, and I'll give you some of your story. Well, let's see what the cards say. Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to Koi Place Tarot. My name is Corey, and I'm going to be your tarot card reader for today. As a set of quick announcements, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button. That way, when uploads are made, you can see what the stars are trying to say to you. Also, if interested, individual reads are up and open. Either message or email me directly. Link is on main, and we'll set it up, okay? So, Cancer, welcome to 2026. Recently, your full moon happened, I think a day or so ago. I'd have to check on the calendar. But everything is anew right now. A lot of people are new energies, resolutions, plans, things like that. And with all that being said, I hope you like my microphone. I recently got it. I can already tell that it's a bump in the quality of audio. So, yay, that is good. And B, with everything being anew, let's do an all anew read. This is a read I'm trying to style with all the aces being out front, representative of each element: water, earth, fire, and air, cups, pentacles, wands, and swords, respectively, each asking about the new ideas, new connections, new drives, new motivations, new fulfillments. What will get me out there? Right. This is then capped off by the Fool at the end, asking, what will that journey look like once we take that first step? Right. All anew. As a preamble to this read, Cancer, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but don't always be so willing to reverse. At times, if it gets difficult, understand that I, as your tarot card reader, I'm not here to misguide you or mislead you. Trust me, I got 12 signs to work with and none of the time to lie to any of them. Instead, we lay our cards out on the table. And good or bad, come rain or sunshine, we talk about it because at the end of the day, tarot is a conversation, just an energetic one, yeah? So follow along with me in this read today, Cancer, your all-new read, first read of 2026, and yeah. Let's see what the cards say. We're going to start over here in your Ace of Cups, the home element of water. Show us the cards that we need to see, please, for Cancer in this read, this all anew read. Okay, very simple. I like that. First, okay, Five of Cups. I see why you want to get out of that space. Six of Cups and Three of Swords. Okay, Cancer, let's talk about it. We have two of the, I would say, saddest and emotionally distressing cards in the deck, right? It's the Five of Cups and the Three of Swords. These ones are pretty tough, right? One is always shown as just this endless, bottomless ocean, a sea of water, or just a depiction that regardless of some cups full, some cups empty, the only thing I can see is where it falters for me, right? The next is a Three of Swords, always shown as poked through by sharp instruments, heartbreak, right? And then we have the Six of Cups coming out. My worry here, right, because the Six of Cups indicates desire of a strong connection, is that you may not be in a space to actually accept it. So we're going through the motions to make somebody fulfill that space, right? I call it like I say, Cancer, and I'm not trying to sign bash. I'm just trying to read what I see on the board. If you're in a situation where we're saying, in this new year, I want a new partner, a new genuine connection, then why are we coming to them with that kind of space, right? What it suggests is that I'm trying to fulfill that gap rather than sit in the pain of it, right? That's eventually going to lead to a resentful dynamic between you and whoever you're connecting with, because you're not coming from the space of wanting to genuinely connect with them or get to know them in that way. You're coming from a space of, this is what it is right now, and I don't want to feel alone. So kind of let's be lonely together. I'm just calling it like I say it, Cancer. I don't lie to anybody that comes to my table. I call it like it is. And if we are to say that, then we also know where that could also head, right? It may not lead to the things that we want, because the dynamic that we're coming in with is not something that we would want in a relationship to begin with. So if we're saying we want emotional fulfillment with a much deeper connection, somebody who wants to be with us, and take that journey of life in some way, shape, or form, then we have to question why we're trying to have them alongside a Three of Swords and a Five of Cups, right? Let's take time and space for ourselves first before we just seek that new fulfillment and saying, okay, this is what matches. This is what fits. Okay. Next to the Ace of Pentacles, show us the cards that we need to see, please. To the Ace of Pentacles in this read. Okay, nice. So just to hit the table. What upon that Ace of Pentacles must be seen? Four of Wands. Okay. Much better. Much better. Nine of Swords. And why so? The Ten of Swords. Yeah. If we do not deal with the stuff going on internally, it will lead to the collapse whatever we're trying to build with said person here and now, Cancer. Ace of Pentacles, the solidity of earth, right? What we can feel, rub under our feet, etc. It's real, it's tangible. We could have a relationship with said person, with said partner. Problem that I'm seeing is that because we have not dealt with this, it will lead to all the anxieties, all the fears. They went unaddressed. And because they went unaddressed, it will end in a very similar manner to what got you here in the first place. We are not trying to carry this pain into something or somebody new. We need to address this first. Otherwise, we're just going to date it in a different body. We need to address what's going on. Otherwise, yeah, whatever good can come of this will go to ruin very quickly, almost immediately, right? I want you to be happy, but in order for that to happen, we gotta sit with the uncomfortable things right now. If the person that you are connecting with knew everything that's going on within you internally, for real, would that, beyond you wanting them to know that, right? Let's put the wants and the fears aside. Would that be something that if the role were reversed, you would want them to project onto you or come to that connection with? If the answer is no, then in the actual what you work with, that's your answer, right? I don't want to see this blow up in front of your face because of the dynamic that we're working with right now. We're coming in with so much hurt, disdain, and baggage. Instead of working on that, we just hopped into this dynamic and it's very up and down, but it's not going in a healthy direction that will lead to a much better outcome that it could actually have, right? We're not coming in the right ways. We're just dating our pain in a different body. Okay. Next to the Ace of Wands. Show us cards we need to see, please, for Cancer in their read. What cards we need to see, please, for Cancer in their read? What about the fire that gets us up and going? Page of Pentacles. Okay, the willingness to try, right? We got to put ourselves back out there. We can't just sit and be miserable all the time. I got that. Two of Swords. I feel like I'm ready, but what does being ready actually mean? And then the Two of Wands, forming a plan. Okay, I like that a little bit better. Doesn't, mute all the stuff going on over here. We already established that. However, if we're saying we finally want to step out of the house, that doesn't automatically mean we're going to latch up to the closest person in sight, right? I want you to be comfortable with moving, even if right now you have to move alone. I want you to be comfortable with doing, even if right now you have to do alone. You're getting there, right? That Page of Pentacles, you can't balance much on a page, but at least that page is the one that shows effort and trying, right? You're toe dipping. You're trying to get yourself back out there for whatever pain or whatever things you felt so drawn out from. You're trying to really exude yourself in that way. I just want it to be formed with a good plan and a good intention in mind, right? We're saying we're having the intent to move out or push ourselves or put ourselves out there. And then the Two of Swords, well, what do we do? How do we do that? Sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean getting into a relationship, right? Sometimes it could be, what about a passion of mine that I let go to the wayside, right? Just throwing things out there for you, Cancer, but same principle applies. We have the energy right now of performing action, but in terms of a fully developed plan, without doubts, without worries, without fears, we haven't formed that yet. And so we're kind of latching on to what is most familiar and close, and that's coming in the form of another person in a relationship. Okay, just sit there for a second. Next to the Ace of Swords, show us cards that we need to see, please, for Cancer in this read. With truth, by extension, a challenge with that Ace of Swords. Ace of Pentacles. And so to the issue of new opportunities. Two of Cups. Yep, this is definitely about you and your dating life. I'm just going to put that out there, Cancer. That is not a mistake right now. The Fool. Throughout this read, and I know it sounded like I was being incredibly harsh, I was just being honest, right? I do not sign bash. I'm not here for slander against any of the zodiac signs. Literally, I don't have the energetic time for that. The truth is that we come to some honesty. We want love. We want to feel appreciated. We want a strong connection. All those things are valid and well. There's also a level of truth that we are carrying a bunch of stuff into this dynamic that would never have good long-term effects. And you know this, Cancer. So for the new beginning that you want, it could be possible, but you also have to be honest about all the other things that are going on. And right now, you're not there yet with this person. You're just not. I don't know how long you've delayed having that conversation, but right now it's like we're trying to mold them into that piece. And because we haven't dealt with what's going on internally with us, it's going to eventually come out on them. Which is why the Nine of Swords and Ten of Swords comes out. All our fears, our anxieties lead to an inevitable end. We're not doing that work right now. We're just saying, hey, can you come in and fill in this spot for me for now? Hold me down for now. And that's okay. But also, what else am I running away from if we're expecting somebody who doesn't know everything to go on, that's going on, to pick up everything that's going on? Okay, underneath it all, Queen of Cups, lovability, or the issue of desirability, even more so wanting to be giving of the heart. Long story short, Cancer, if we want love, then we have to want to engage with love in a way that would love us back. Would you want a person to bring in the pain and everything that they have from a past relationship that they're still carrying with them, that they haven't tried to address or haven't really made any progress with addressing, and then bring all that into your dynamic and call it a good relationship? If the answer is no, then you have your answer just in the reverse. Just saying. Next, can we have a single card underneath every single element? Show us cards that we need to see, please, for Cancer in this read. All anew. Underneath, let's start again with your home element of water. Underneath the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups. I get the idea of wanting new connections, Cancer, but you know right now you may not be in the best place to accept them. I know you're saying your fulfillment is a reflection of the love you wish to have. However, you also have to be able to give that. A reflection can go both ways. Okay, next to the Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. Yep. I'm pointing to all the cards, but it still rings the same bell. This truth that we're having about this new beginning and all our nightmares and fears, this good start comes when we address this stuff going on. right? The Ace of Swords, whenever I see these cards in particular in this position, the aces in the underneath of every element, I just point towards what's going on the board already. The Ace of Swords over here, you can have nice things. You can have a connection that gets more intimate, deeply devoted, things like that. That's totally fine. It's actually very much possible. But we need to deal with the things going on internally first. We got a whole lot of us we need to talk to right now before we come to whatever dynamic this is. Ace of Wands, Six of Swords. You want to move forward in action, you had to have a fully thought out plan. To the Ace of Swords over here, the Two of Wands. And so your intent will ultimately be rooted in good things. However, it also comes at the price of addressing all your internal pain, all your fear and anxiety. And to be totally honest, Cancer, if you need to step back right now from the dating game or relationships, that probably is what's best, at least from what I'm seeing on the board. Because if you wouldn't want this done to you in the reverse, then the thing that you need to sit with right now is not another person, it's with yourself. Underneath it all, Two of Cups. Still wanting intimate bonds, still wanting something deeper. And that is very valid and true. I just want you to be right for it when it is really right for you. Right now, just be totally honest as your reader, a relationship is not right for you. I'm only going off of what I see on the board. Last, as we move towards resolution, first find the major arcana shown across the table in this read. For Cancer, as there is only one, we'll look towards the Fool. Yeah, the Fool. Show us the cards that we need to see, please. Upon that new beginning, what do we see the draw? Here we go. There's another break. We have a third break. I'm just going to say what comes to mind, Cancer. Got to. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Define deeper as we move towards the end of this read. We start with that Fool. There we go. Five of Pentacles, right? If we do this right here, right now, just jump into this relationship with said person without letting them know all this, it's going to be empty and hollow by the end. Cancer, you got some new work you need to do, and that's totally fine. That's totally okay. But what I need you to do is be affirmative in that resolve. I need you to do that for you, by yourself. And if that means you need to take a step back from this for you and by yourself, then that is your answer here and now. That new beginning, whatever we want, can be so beautiful if we do that work. But right now, if we just hop into it, we're going to get out what we put in. So the path of new beginnings. The willingness to try, again, with the Page of Pentacles. Nothing inherently wrong with that. The Ten of Cups, getting us to harmonize to where we should be, even if it's not right here or right now. And the Ace of Swords. Truth. All written all over the board. Long story short, that form of truth here, we can have these great relationships, these great connections, and all these really nice things. But right now, you need to be single as the last Pringle in the can. If we do not deal with the stuff going on internally, we're just going to end up reflecting it onto this person, onto this partner. And then when it crashes and burns, we cannot claim that we don't know why. Okay? Underneath it all, Queen of Swords. This is what we know. Internal enamored energy, what we know about the self in regards to connections. We want that right now. There's nothing inherently wanting that. However, in order to get that, you must be able to provide it. Cancer, I want you to get this to yourself first before you try to work that out with somebody else. So on to your read. As a quick recap, Cancer, first read of 2026 is a harsh one, but it is a true one. You are not ready for a relationship right now. That is okay. Your self-worth and your self-value does not have to be determined by a relationship. But you trying to bypass all this internal healing and work that needs to be done and just to have and be with somebody, it's going to lead to a crash and burn to what could actually be a lot better than it is even right now. But you have to be available for that. In order to be available for that, you have to sit with the uncomfortable things that you're kind of trying to skirt around right now. Is it fun? No, I totally understand that. However, I don't want you to be with somebody. If you come in just saying, I don't want to be alone, then when it gets to its ending and you're saying, why do I feel alone when we're together? You got out what you put in. We need to have a level of honesty here, starting off the new year with something fresh. Okay, you can have nice things. That is all well and good, and that is very much possible, but we need to do the hard work first, and the hard work is done alone. That's all I got on your read today, Cancer. I hope this conversation helped. And yeah, is it a tough pill to swallow? Absolutely. But I think you're coming from the space of wanting to be with somebody. I want you to be with you first. That somebody will come when the time is right. I'll see you around, okay? Take care.